Good morning, good afternoon. Thanks for attending the Live Labs hands-on training for Oracle integration webinar. I'm Jürgen Kress, part of the Oracle product management team. In case you missed one of our webcasts, on-demand recordings are available at Oracle Video Hub, including presentations for download. For details, please see our monthly partner community newsletter. In today's presentation, Kishore and Supani will introduce Live Labs. Good afternoon, Kishore.
Hi, Jürgen. Hi, everyone.
Thanks for attending and presenting. So what is Oracle Live Labs?
So today we thought of covering some new exciting features in OIC3. So alongside, we wanted to give an opportunity for everyone to go and practice some of these features so that they get a good set of hands-on. So we have curated a specifically focused live labs, which they can access and try to execute those scenarios.
Cool. So Live Labs is a training environment where you get all the training material.
Live Lab is not a training environment, but it's a place for content where you can follow through step by step. So if one has a tendency, so they can straight away try to execute those labs.
Cool. And this is Supani. Supani, thanks for joining the call.
Hello, Jürgen. Good morning.
So which one is your favorite Live Lab content?
Of course, all Oracle integration Live Lab content which we have prepared.
How many of those are there for Oracle integration? How many labs?
I think more than around 15, as I think, Kishore, if I'm not wrong.
I think, yeah, we have close to 20 putting across different categories.
Yeah. And you constantly keep updating them.
Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Let's get started. So SaaS services like ERP, HCM, and CX need to be connected, and Oracle integration offers therefore the certified adapters and pre-built connectivity. Our objective of the call is to introduce training resources for new functionality in Oracle integration. Please pay attention to the Oracle Safe Harbor statement. Please blog and tweet about services which are available today. Quick housekeeping, please feel free to post your questions via the conference Q&A tool or Twitter #PassCommunity. At the end of the webcast, we will answer them. Slides will be available at our Video Hub channel and community websites. Please share your feedback via the Zoom survey at the end of the webcast. For today's agenda, I will kick off the webcast with some brief announcements, and then we will spend most of the time with Live Labs. We will show you the environment and the demos and make you enabled to run the trainings at your own speed and time. We will answer your questions at the end of the webcast. We are preparing for Oracle Cloud World, the annual Oracle conference. At Cloud World, there's a dedicated Oracle integration track, including keynotes, sessions, demo ground, trainings, and a customer summit. In case you will attend the conference in Las Vegas in September, please look up the complete guide for Oracle integration. Attend Deepak's keynote and choose your sessions. We recommend to make a reservation for the sessions you prefer to attend, as a waiting list might apply for some sessions pretty soon. One of the highlights is the demo ground. There you can meet the product management team and see live demos. In case you missed our last product update webcast from the June edition, it's available at Oracle Video Hub. Same for the kickoff webcast that we run with Deepak Aurora. It includes the new positioning, the new presentations, and a really cool demo. So I definitely can recommend to take a look at the on-demand webcast. As a follow-up of today's webcast, we would like to invite you to register for one of our hands-on integration bootcamps. The integration bootcamps are most suitable for integration experts and SaaS consultants who want to connect HCM, CX, and ERP. The goal is that you get hands-on trained and can demo and start a project your own after the training, including certification. The upcoming schedule includes Latin America, Asia, US, EMEA, and India. As part of the training, we also provide all environments, including SaaS environments and Oracle integration. So make sure if you want to get hands-on trained in Oracle integration and you are a beginner that you attend one of the hands-on trainings. As a preparation of the bootcamp, we ask you to complete the solution engineer exam and guided learning path and to follow up with the implementation exam and certification. All details are published in our monthly newsletter. The August edition is distributed. If you're not yet a member, please register the community to get also access to the community website with all registration, with all resources, including today's presentation. Today's webcast is recorded and will be available on demand, including the presentation slides at Oracle Video Hub. At Oracle Video Hub, you can find all our previous webcasts. Some highlights include the kickoff webcast or the healthcare integration webcast, or to build your own Oracle integration adapter. Please visit our community channel there. With this short introduction, I would like to hand over to Sobhani.
Thanks, Jürgen. Thank you very much. Yeah, hello all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. So today, as part of this webcast, we'll go ahead and discuss about some of the latest features of Oracle integration, and along with discussing the features, we shall also go through the demos, and we have live labs ready for you, so which you can just go ahead and use it and do some hands-on. Okay. So yeah, so basically Oracle can go ahead and it can help you to automate connectivity to disparate applications and data sources using different APIs and RPA robots. And it can also help you to automate complex processes. And on top of that, you can also automate the orchestration of AI services, AI, artificial intelligence based decision making, and then intelligent document processing. So, as you can see, the Oracle integration as your business automation platform, which covers a lot of features, starting from pre-built connectivity to pre-built solutions, and then so we have a lot of recipes and accelerators which you can go ahead and use it to connect to the different applications and different data sources. So you can also use Oracle integration to connect to the multi-cloud applications. Like one application is hosted on Oracle Cloud application, and another one is on AWS or Microsoft. So you can make use of Oracle integration to connect to any of these applications, along with Oracle SaaS applications. And also you can make use of agent to connect to the on-premise applications if there are any on-premise applications in your requirement. Okay. And so we have been talking about adapters. So adapters plays major role as part of Oracle integration to provide a solutions to a lot of customers actually. So we have around 100 plus adapters available, which you can go ahead and use it for integrating with the cloud to cloud or a cloud to on-premise and any other custom applications. So you can see a lot of adapters available on the screen here, and we'll continue to add adapters as well. Okay, so that's quick information about Oracle integration. Now let us look into the some of the recent features added in Oracle Integration 3, which we are going to get into the details of all these features actually. So we have a support for private endpoint. So what does it mean actually? So let's say you have a application installed on the Oracle Cloud infrastructure, and you can go ahead and access that particular application without installing the connectivity agent. So you can securely access all the private resources which is hosted on Oracle Cloud infrastructure without using the connectivity agent. And on top of that, we also have a additional feature called OIC projects. So you can go ahead and manage all the components like integration, lookups, and connections, everything in one place. So I will get into the details of OIC projects in coming slides. And we also have an events framework, and you can go ahead and define custom events. So in the form of publish, subscribe pattern, we are leveraging there. And you can go ahead and create an event and publish the data to that particular event and subscribe the data from the event. And we also have a native actions for OCI services like OCI Object Storage and OCI Functions. So earlier we used to use the REST adapter, and using the REST adapter we create REST connection, and then using the REST connection we connect to the OCI services. But now with this native actions, right, we do not need to create a REST connection. Without REST connection, you can go ahead and directly talk to the OCI services. And we do support large payloads up to 100 MB. And we have a Fusion application monitoring feature, and then RAB and new adapters. So let's get into the details of all these features now. Okay, projects. So this is one of the beautiful feature which is available as part of Oracle Integration 3. So as you can see on the screen here, all the related resources in one place and one-stop shop. What does it mean? So what are the resources we have as part of Oracle Integration? We have integrations, connections, lookups, and JavaScript libraries, right? So all the related integrations or all the related artifacts, you can go ahead and manage in or under projects itself. So what is the advantage of having projects and all in one place? Obviously, with everything at your fingertips, right? So you can build the solutions faster. So you don't need to navigate from connections to integrations, from lookups and all those stuff, right? All in one place is available. And on top of that, you can also manage the release of your integrations with the project deployments. So let's say you have built integrations and tested it, and you want to move it to the test environment, or you might need to move it to the production environment. So you can quickly move all your integrations with the project deployments. And on top of that, you can also you can also control the access to your integrations. So you can control the users and groups who can edit your project related artifacts, or who can view or who can monitor your integrations. So it's kind of a role-based access control. You can go ahead and provide it to at project level. So you can build your integrations, and you can manage your integrations, and you can monitor your integrations, everything in one place. So this is how the it looks like actually, which you can see on the screen here. So this is a project called Invoice Processing, and it contains multiple integrations. And you could see the lookups here. You can go ahead and add a lookup, and you can see the related connections and libraries. And if you scroll down, you can also see the events there. And on top of this, you can see there are 3 tabs available. So design, deploy, and observe. So by default, it will take you to the design tab. That's where you can go ahead and create new integrations and design your integrations. And you can create connections, all that stuff. You can go ahead and manage it, right? So without projects, right, you need to navigate to the different places actually. And then second tab, which you can see, is deploy. So you can go ahead and create a deployment, and you can add your integrations to the deployment, and not only it will show all the integrations to you, it will also show you the different versions which you can go ahead and use it for the deployment. So you have 1.0 or 1.1 version of this particular publish invoice event. Then you can also go ahead and select which version of integration you want to deploy. Okay. And if you go to the Observe tab, so that's where you can go ahead and monitor your integrations. So you can click on instances. It will show you all the instances. And if something is going wrong, you can go ahead and look at that particular instance. And you can also look at the edit and future runs, and different tabs are available. And you have filters also to filter your integration instances. Okay. And along with that, I have also mentioned that you can go ahead and provide access to the users. So you could see here, so owner is Kishore Katta, and who can edit, and Stan and Nathan can edit this particular project, and Subhani can view, and Ravi can go ahead and monitor it. So this is how you can go ahead and give access to your project, so that you have a complete control on your project. Okay. So this is this feature is I think I mean a very good feature which you can go ahead and leverage as part of your solutions. Okay. Now, excuse me. Yeah. What happened? Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. So events. Okay. So this is also one of the major feature which is available. And okay, so when it comes to the events, right, on the projects itself, you can go ahead and create an event. So you have an event as a subsystem, and when you create an event, you need to provide event definition using the JSON sample or schema from existing responses. Okay. And then, so once you are done with the creation of an event, you need to publish the data, right? So we have added a new action on our palette called publish action. So using the publish action, which is available on our palette, designer palette, you can go ahead and publish the data to that particular event which you have created. So you would be creating an event using the definition, and then when you are creating an integration flow, right? So you can make use of publish action to publish the data. And when you try to create a new integration, you might have observed application type of new orchestration application, and then scheduler type of orchestration, right? So we also introduced the event-driven app orchestration. So you could see event also along with the application and scheduler. So you can go ahead and subscribe to that particular event. So this is the new integration type which is added as part of Oracle Integration 3. And you can go ahead and subscribe to the event which is created, so that whenever the user publishes the data, all the subscribers can get that particular information or message. And you have a control panel to manage the events. Okay. So this feature, you can basically use it for like whenever you have a distributed systems for asynchronous communications, right? So especially for asynchronous communications, you can go ahead and make use of the events platform. Or whenever you want to decouple the integrations, so you can go ahead and use it. So when you decouple the integrations, what happens is, so you can go ahead and split your integrations. So you can go ahead and split the integrations, and you can go ahead and publish the data without knowing the subscribers. and subscribers can go ahead and subscribe to the event without knowing who is the publisher. So what is the advantage which we are getting with this particular events feature? So we have a loose coupling between the components, which makes your system more modular and then more flexible and high scalability. So a publish subscribe pattern basically allows any number of publishers to communicate with any number of subscribers. So I think maximum you can have up to 50 subscribers as part of Oracle Integration 3. And other advantages could be like language agnostic and protocol agnostic kind of use cases where you can go ahead and implement it. So for all these, like whenever you have a distributed caching or distributed logging and loose coupling, and if you want to send event notifications, or if you are working with the multiple data sources, so for all these kind of use cases, you can go ahead and use the events feature or publish subscribe pattern. And where's the bad choice for publish subscribe pattern? So you should not be overkilling for simpler systems, right? So if you have a simple integration, you don't need to go for publish subscribe. Or you might need to communicate with a few fewer components or services. It's not suitable. Or it's not suitable for media streaming, or it is not appropriate for periodic or background tasks, and for synchronous processes also, of course. Okay, so so this is where you can go ahead and see all the so on this particular screen, right? So you can basically create an event as part of first step. So using this is what I was talking about. When you create an integration, so it will show you the application and schedule based integrations you can go ahead and create up to now. And now you can also create event based integration flows. So which means so you can go ahead and publish the event, and you can go ahead and create the event and publish the data to that particular event using the publish event action. And then you can go ahead and create third integration which subscribe to the particular event. Okay, so let me just have a time check. Okay, sorry guys, I think. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing, and I'll go through the demo of projects and events. Okay, so when you log into the Oracle integration, right, you can see the projects here. So you can go ahead and create a new project by clicking on add, which will take you to the designer of projects. So let me just show you how it looks like. So you could see all the integrations which I have created here and connection, and you could see events also. So you just need to click on event to create a new event, and then provide the name and provide the JSON schema or definition to it. So I have already created this, so I'll just show you. So this is the JSON sample JSON schema which I have used to create the event. Now, so you could see I'm on the design tab, right? So what are the things which I can do? I can create a connection, and I can create new integrations, and all this stuff I can go ahead and do it. And so I have created an event. Now I need to publish the data, right? So for that, I can go ahead and I'll just show you the existing integration which I have created. I'll click on edit. And so you could see I'm just using the REST service to post the data or to publish the data to the event. So when you click on plus icon, you could see So you could see the publish event action. So this is what I have used here, publish event action. And when I use that action, it will display all the events which are available. So obviously I'm going to publish the data to the event, right? So it will display the events here. So I can just select that event and click on finish. So which means I'm going to publish the data to that event. And you can provide the mappings and all the stuff. And once you are done with it, so you will be defining the business identifiers, which I'm not going in detail. And you will be creating subscribers. So subscribers, so you could see here, what is the source? So subscribe, let me just edit this. So I'm subscribing to the event. So trigger part is event, right? Because I'm subscribing to that event. So I'll just go ahead and show you. So you could see patient mode is the event which I'm subscribing, and I'm just using the notification to publish the data. And I have also created another subscriber. I just cloned this particular application, and then I have created another subscriber. So I have 2 subscribers and 1 publisher and one event. Now I'll go to the deploy and create a deploy. So it's already there. So which contains all the integrations here. I have selected publish patient data, subscribe to the patient data, and subscriber to patient data. And I'll go ahead and activate it. So I do not need to activate each and every integration which is there as part of projects. I can directly go ahead and activate the project deployment, and I'll select this, add it, and click on activate. Okay. So if I go to the design tab, now you could see all the integrations are in active mode. So let me go ahead and run this publish patient data, where this is where I'm going to publish the data, right? And from department, general medicine to ortho, this patient is moving from this department to this department, and I'll go ahead and run it. So this data, we are going to publish it to the event, which we have created. And it's, you could see it's successfully completed. Now, if I go to the Observe tab, so you can see the beauty of this particular projects, right? I'm just not going out of projects. So each and everything there in under projects itself. So you could see all the integrations run successfully and succeeded all the messages, and I could go to the instances, and you could see the patient data which is published 1, 2, 3, 6, and subscriber data you could see from the department to the 2 departments. So I just created different business identifiers for each and every integration flow, and so it is subscribing to that event, and it will go ahead and publish the data to that particular event. So what we are doing here, we are just sending out an email using the notification feature which is available as part of Oracle integration. Okay, so that's about Oracle integration features which we have gone through as of now. So projects and events, right? So you could see the email. This email is from Oracle Integration 3 Events feature, and has been moved from general medicine to ortho. Okay, so this is how you can go ahead and make use of events feature. So now I'll go ahead and stop, and I'll hand it over to Kishore. Thank you.
Thanks, Shubhani. Hi, everyone. Okay, so so we have seen a few set of features, although we don't have plans to cover extensively in this webinar, right? So because we wanted to be very focused on top set of features. But having said that, we'll certainly run some of these webcasts going forward, specifically focused on certain features, and we'll try to see if we can give equivalent live labs to those set of features so that you get some good hands-on. So as part of that, so some of the features I'll be covering is we have a live lab created. So I'll go through some of these features, and some doesn't have live lab yet, but we'll certainly see through what are the features, or what use case it's trying to solve, and what are the kind of restrictions, if any, as such. Okay, so native actions are actions available in OIC Canvas palette, which allows you to connect with or integrate with functions which are deployed in OCI infrastructure, or you may want it to invoke different operations on entities in object storage, or maybe you wanted to do some file-based operations in the file server, right? So native actions are straightaway actions which are available in the palette, so that you can just drag and drop and try to integrate with some of these OCI services and file servers as such. Okay, so why we had this as native actions? Because we have with this, it tries to help the developer productivity, right? So because earlier in the past releases, one has to go through the pain of creating connections if they have to invoke functions, or maybe object storage, or maybe file server as such, right? So you need connections specifically, and then you would use those in your integration logic. But native actions help us to go and straight away leverage these actions and try to invoke different set of operations on these resources. Okay, so such actions, native actions, which are available in the action palette, allows you to, for example, let's say we are trying to invoke a function which is deployed on the OCI infrastructure, right? So you could use the native action for the OCI function. When you drag and drop, it straight away asks you for a few set of details, like where the function, which region the function is available, which compartment the function application is deployed, and which function application, and if your function application is having multiple set of functions, right? So you could pick and choose which function you would want it to invoke as such. Okay, and so this drag and drop is giving you a very good kind of user experience, so that you're not bothered with a lot of other details of creating connections and other artifacts like providing region information, compartment information, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you can see directly a pick list to go and pick and choose based on the policies or the compartments you have access to. Okay, and when it comes to native action to invoke object storage specific entities, right? So again, this is an action available in the action palette. So when you drag and drop the OCI object storage native function, again, it asks for a few set of details, like which objects or which entities you wanted to manage, right? So because when we talk about invocation of object storage, right? So we can manage buckets, we can manage objects in the object storage. So those two entities are available, and different set of operations are available in each of these entities, right? So as supported by object storage, and so you'll have to provide which compartment your objects or buckets fall in, and also you can select if at all you're managing objects, right? So you can select which bucket your object falls into. So this is giving you a very intuitive way to pick and choose an operation that you wanted to execute or try to manage a particular object in object storage. So the last native function, what you see in the action palette, is a file server action. So remember the days where you have to create a connection if you have to connect to the file server of the OIC instance, right? So you would create an FTP connection and authentication scheme and so on and so forth. But with the native action, you have an increased productivity by simply drag and dropping the native action file onto the canvas or into the integration logic. So now you have the choice of selecting your resource, right? So the resource could be a file or a directory that you wanted to manage or execute an operation using these resources. So when you select a specific resource, you can go and try pick and choose the operations you wanted to execute on that particular resource. For example, let's say you're trying to do some operations on a file, right? So you can do, like, you can write a file or move a file, or maybe get a file reference if you have a file, and then maybe you wanted to delete a file, right? So similarly, for our directory, you can do and execute like list directory. So list directory is basically it lists all the files in the given directory basically. So these are the different operations that you can execute by using the native action in the file server. So so we have seen 3 set of native actions, which really helps us to go and design our logic really quick, and it increases our productivity when we try and invoke these resources. So what I'll do is I'll spend a few minutes on one of the live lab scenario that we have, wherein we use Oracle integration to go and, for example, let's say you have a scenario where you have a file stored in a file server, right? So and then you want to pick that file, maybe move to an object storage. Let's say this is an Excel file, and you wanted to move that to an object storage. And after that, you may wanted to convert the Excel file to a CSV format, CSV formatted file or a delimited file. So converting Excel to CSV format is not an action which you would wanted to do in OIC. Rather, you would wanted to go and have this logic externalized into an OCI function, right? So where the function is responsible to go and convert the Excel to a CSV, and then finally places the file to an object storage bucket. So in which case, this particular integration tries to invoke a function, and once the function executes, right? So it pulls in the file from the object storage and tries to process, and later it pushes the passes the records and pushes the information to the database. So you see that this is a complete scenario that you will do as part of your live labs. So I would like to quickly move through the integration instance and try to demo this real quick. So I'm not planning to do a complete scenario, but let's see quickly, right? So how we can see the experience of using the native actions. So let's say this is a scenario where I have a bunch of files, Excel files in my file server, and basically I wanted to read each file and then move to an object storage and then invoke a function to convert the Excel to CSV. So this is a scenario which I'm trying to do, which is part of your live labs as well. So first thing is that I will use one of the native functions called file server, right? So I just select file server action here. So when I select the file server action, let's say I wanted to fetch the file and I wanted to get the file reference, okay? And maybe I wanted to use a particular location. And here I'll just use a sample Excel S6, okay? So then you can rather like override this in the mapper. And then if you see this list of entities available here, and when I select the file, you'll see the list of operations available that you wanted to execute on a file server asset. So this is all to get away with and so forth, right? So now let's say I wanted to go, I simply have to type a few words, right? So if you maybe provide just a quick name, right? So move FS to maybe OS. And here, what you see, object storage native action. So in object storage, you have 2 entities. One is buckets and objects. So in this particular case, I wanted to upload the file to an object storage, which I have, which I got from file server. So in this case, I can simply pick up a specific operation, which will be able to accept a file reference, and it also asks me like which compartment your object is, right? So where you wanted to upload the object and which bucket you wanted to push the object to. For example, let's say I have some pre-created buckets, and it kinds of lists down all the buckets in the compartment here. Okay, so I can just pick up and finish an action palette, right? So of object storage function. And then if I go to the mapper, right, so all I have to do is I just need to pass a reference. So the reference is basically the file reference which I got from the file reference which I got from file server. And if you see, I have a stream reference which the object storage operation is taking. I just have to go and do this quick mapping and also say that what is the object name. Okay, so this is a quick kind of experience what you see, because you see like various set of parameters are being exposed in the mapper. So based on the operation, what you choose. So now I have my file in the object storage. So the next thing I want to do is invoke a function so that the function will be able to go and convert the Excel file to CSV. So what I'll do is I'll search for native action again. This is an OCI function. So what I'll do is I'll say invoke FN. Okay. So when I'm invoking a function, I'll have to pick and choose my region where my function is. right? So just make sure that you can invoke functions which are in the same region, right? So, and here I need to provide the compartment, and then this is my function application, and I have one function in that function application. So you see that the kind of user experience a developer is getting by trying to pick and choose the native actions. So it's like it's simply straightforward, and it's only that the developer has to go and pick and choose different things based on which function he or she is trying to execute. So after you go this, so we just have to provide the function interface, right? So because every serverless function which is deployed has an request interface and a response interface, right? So one has to go and just pick up let's say I have a request JSON. So my function accepts a specific JSON, which has like file name, source bucket, target bucket, and it asks for which namespace and so on and so forth. And it also asks for what is your response interface, because that's what your function will return, right? So these are the elements that gets binded and which can be used in your mapper, basically, end of the day. So you provide a response, and in the response, I'm getting some stuff like whether the file conversion was success or not, and which target bucket, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is what I have to do, and this finally generates an endpoint URL. This is what where my function is actually deployed. Okay, this endpoint is being invoked by OIC. So what you've seen is user experience of how native actions can be used. Okay, so and this is exactly what a kind of a scenario you will be doing in your live labs. Okay, so the live labs, what we will be sharing, we have two live labs. One is the events, how to get the experience of events in projects, and the second live lab is how to use the native actions. Okay, so for leveraging the native actions, right? So obviously there are some prerequisites that you have to take care of. So I'll tell you, like, quickly run through some of the prerequisites. So since the scenario demands us to deploy a function which converts an Excel to CSV, so in which case you need a bunch of policies related to functions for you to go and set up a development environment in a Cloud Shell, OCI Cloud Shell. Okay, so this is not prerequisites for OIC, but these are prerequisites for deploying a function itself in the Cloud Shell. Okay, so this is one part, and there are some prerequisites to invoke. There are some prerequisites that you have to take care of when you if you have to use native actions. So what are those? So the important part is, so when you're seeing, you could have realized that when I dragged and dropped these native actions, right, you get to see compartments, you get to see objects, resources in that compartment, and so on and so forth. So which means that there should be a policy which needs to be written such that OIC will be able to access these resources, right? So that's exactly what we do in the prerequisites. So prerequisites for native actions, you need to create a dynamic group where where you have to say that what is your so you have to say a resource ID equals to the client ID of OIC. So which is basically allowing OIC to invoke these resources, basically. Okay, and we also need an additional resource. A rule in the dynamic group. This is basically to invoke functions. Okay, so invoke functions, basically. Okay, and see, so these are these bunch of rules, policies that you will apply, use for your dynamic group that you have created, right? So obviously you have to create policies like ability to use functions family, manage the object family, because you'll be listing all the objects and the buckets and the objects, right? So in the object storage, and you should be able to inspect compartments. This is the policy that you need. And so yeah, these are the set of policies you would need, which help you to go and use these native actions and list those resources while you use the native actions. Okay, so these are the bunch of policies that you will need. And after you have all of these prerequisites, you should be able to create your integration flow. So that's exactly the scenario which I showed you earlier, right? So this, you will be building a complete use case in this live lab, which allows you to do a complete set of stuff, right from fetching the file from file server and all the way to invoking function, getting the file from the object storage, and do some staging activity and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is a live lab you would be doing. So now I'll just quickly go through some of the other features OIC provides. And this is not an exhaustive list, by the way, right? So we just wanted to give you a set of high-level features so that you get to use in your projects and try to understand how OIC3 is really a value add compared to its previous releases. So private endpoint is a private IP address within your virtual cloud network that you can use by attaching it to any of the Oracle services, like it could be ATP, or which are within a private subnet, or it could be any other REST services that are within your private subnet. So connecting to private services in OCI VCN without connectivity agent is a big game changer for us, because now you'll have the benefit of not traversing through the public network, because we use the private network, and also you'll see a lower latency as such, right? So when you're invoking resources which are within the private subnet, and you're using a private endpoint. So there are a lot of adapters. So there are a lot of adapters which supports the private endpoint access type, as you see here. So when you create a connection, there are, for example, let's say you have an ATP database which is in a private subnet within a VCN as such, right? So now from OIC, when you wanted to execute a query on the private ATP database, so in which case you can, first step is to have your resource created in a private subnet within a VCN, and then you would create a private endpoint. And when you create a private endpoint, you would pick and choose the subnet and the VCN and the subnet. So this will get attached to the Oracle integration instance. So wherein once this is done, right? So, and when you create a connection to ADB database, right? So you will have to choose private endpoint. So this allows you to go and use the private endpoint, which is configured as part of OIC instance. Okay. So, and this allows you to not traverse through the public network. So the traffic never goes through the public internet as such. So currently there are certain restrictions, right? So you can use only one private endpoint per instance, and you can use one subnet per private endpoint. However, we plan to certainly have these things modified or tweaked in the future releases as such. So there are a lot of adapters which support the private endpoint. In some cases, you might see that there are cloud adapters which are supporting endpoint. This is for the reason that we see customers asking us to traverse the network from our tenancy itself, right? So from their respective tenancy instead of elsewhere. So in that cases, you will see SaaS adapters asking for these access types called private endpoint. Okay, so this is a very a good value add, especially when the customer wants or has a complaints that all the network has to go through their tenancy. Okay, so now another important feature is parallel actions. So it is used to process tasks in parallel to kind of improve integration performance, I would say, right? So why parallel actions are really important? Because, for example, let's say you have something, a scenario where your integration receives a payload, let's say a worker payload in HCM Cloud. Let's say you're trying to integrate with HCM Cloud, and at the end of the scenario, you're trying to capture various details for a specific worker, right? So maybe you're querying worker details, maybe you're querying some plan balance for the worker, and maybe you're getting some learning details for that particular worker. So when you see all of these invocations are disjoint invocations, you can straight away design them as parallel actions. So parallel actions allows you to create separate branches in a particular scope, and when all of these branches are completed, they merge and they go transfer to the next activity. So what you're doing is you're splitting the flow into parallel tracks, and then you're gathering the results at the end of the parallel branch, right? So you're gathering the results and forwarding it to the next activity. So this really helps you to design your integrations for invocations which need mutually exclusive kind of invocations, right? So that's exactly where parallel actions really help. And all the different actions that you see in the integration canvas can be used in the parallel actions as well, right? So in a particular branch. Okay, so another quick important feature is the support for large payloads. So you can process payloads, structured payloads as big as 100 MBs, and you can process payloads as big as 50 MB when you have a connectivity agent being used with the adapters. Okay, so I repeat this. So you have the capability to process 100 MB structured payloads and 50 MB payloads when you're using a connectivity agent. So why this is really important, right? So because in the past we have seen that our limitations are like we could execute only 10 MBs of structured payloads, and you might have to do some complex transformation logic here and there to bring down to 10 MB, right? So this is a significant kind of a feature that we have put in so that you can process a larger amount of data sets as such. And not only that, look at scenarios where, let's say you're invoking a BIP, right? So let's say the BIP gives you back a payload which is several MBs, right? So now you can easily process that. Or maybe take scenarios where, let's say you're using ADB database and where you're executing your SQL on an ADB database. And let's say you're doing a select, right? So now your select is bringing up large amount of data sets, right? So now this large payload support is giving us that capability to bring in, process the large payloads, and also we support the stage file action to process 100 MB structured payloads. So why this is really important, having stage file to process 100 MBs is, for example, let's say you have a large file, right? And then you take the large file, process it, do in chunks, process in chunks, right? So the processing in chunks is fine when you take when your payload limits are higher, right? But when your payload limits are smaller, but chunking the file or chunking the records doesn't make sense, right? So that's exactly why the reason why we introduced the stage file action to process in memory up to 100 MB, right? So now this is giving you more capability. Instead of processing in chunks, you can straight away go process in memory. And if it's beyond that, maybe again you have to fall into a design pattern of processing in chunks as such. Okay. So that's quickly about large payload support and Fusion application monitoring, right? So this is one of the important features where customers have been asking for several in the past. So this feature helps for customers where they're integrating with ERP Cloud or maybe Engagement Cloud, and where they're processing business events, right? So which are coming from Fusion applications, right? So now we give a way to observe these instances in the Fusion application monitoring console, right? So that's part and parcel of our observability in OIC console. So now you have the ability to see each and every event, what is its status of delivery, right? So what is its status of processing or delivery? And also for every event, you can go and see what are the different subscriptions or how many subscriptions each event has, right? Subscription is nothing but number of integrations that are processing this particular business event, right? So that's nothing but called as subscriptions. So you could see in the screen, like number of subscriptions, how many queued, delivered, retried, and maxed out retries, because you know that Fusion tries to deliver the business events in an increasing proportion time interval as such. So in some case, for example, let's say it maxed out, right? So you wanted to know the reason why it maxed out. So you can click on the icon and see every instance, what is the reason why it got maxed out. Right? So maybe the endpoint is not reachable, or maybe for some other reason. So this is now giving you a greater capability for the customers to go and see the status of this business event straight away from the application monitoring screen as such. Okay. And last but not the least, RAB, so Rapid Adapter Builder is a framework that we have built to make your adapter development really simple and easier, right? So there are a bunch of steps that you have to kind of follow to build an adapter. So this helps partners and customers to build their own adapters leveraging this framework. So RAB supports extensions extensions in VS Code as such. So we have created plugins for VS Studio where you can download the plugin, install the plugin, and start developing your own adapter. So you can start building your adapter either by using an open API document or maybe using a Postman collection, right? So generally, these are two artifacts that you see whenever you start building, whenever you try to invoke a set of resources or operations within a resource, right? So you'll certainly have one of these resources. So you can start from any of these resources, and our RAB adapter framework will allow you to go and parse these resources, and it forms or it creates an adapter definition document. So the adapter definition document is nothing but look that like as a code base for your adapter. It's really a bunch of XML that we write behind the scenes. We spit out a lot of XML there, right? And you can customize your adapter definition document based on what kind of policies you might want it to support, how you wanted to design your flow action as such, right? So for a specific operation that you invoke in your adapter, and it also gives you capability to customize or categorize resources based on how you wanted the adapter to look into. Okay, so once you have this, you can straight away go and publish this document. It basically goes and creates an adapter behind the scenes. So you can do that straight away from the Visual Studio plugin as such. Okay, so and these are the high level steps that you could do to build an adapter. So we have a beautiful set of blogs that are written by Madhav and others, and we also have a live lab that you can get started with something like developing a adapter from scratch, right? So by building your own API and try and create adapter for the same and all that. Okay, so that's about RAB. And not only these, right? So there are a lot of adapters we have been releasing since past few releases, right? So as you see, Netezza, Snowflake, these are popularly asked adapters, OData, right? So these are popularly asked adapters always. And we have these adapters in place in OIC3. And not only that, along with this adapters, we have a lot of features added to the existing adapters as well, right? For example, Salesforce.com, we included a lot of auth schemes as such. And for Primavera, we include some of the auth schemes, and we are supporting now more resources and more set of features within the adapter itself for the existing adapters. Okay, so with that, I come to the last slide. So this is where you can execute the two labs which I was talking about. One is you can have a good set of experience on how to create a project and how to leverage events by creating a publish subscribe integration in your project. And also the second live lab is the how you can experience how to use the native actions in OIC. Okay, so and you have a bunch of prerequisites that you have to do and all that, which I showed you already. So you can execute all of this on a fresh tenancy as such. Okay, so by following the steps one after another. So that's all from my side, Jürgen.
Thank you very nice for the nice introduction of Oracle Live Labs and wonderful live demos. So, oops, let me share my screen. So to wrap up today's call, if you would like to get access to the Oracle Cloud, you can get a free trial or you can attend our upcoming hands-on Oracle integration bootcamps. If you want to start with Oracle integration, if it's your first time that you see Oracle integration, we highly recommend that you please sign up for an upcoming hands-on bootcamp. The hands-on bootcamp is a 3-day course where we provide all the cloud services, the SaaS environments, including HCM and ERP, and we provide Oracle integration. So that's the bootcamp you should choose if you are a beginner. If you are interested in the advanced features that we showed you today and the new functionality of Oracle Integration 3, and if you have used it before, then please use an Oracle free trial to run the live labs. So the difference between the bootcamp and the live labs is the bootcamps are for beginners. It's a complete environment, complete class, and the live labs we want to showcase new functionalities and advanced features. If you would like to do the live labs, please choose the Oracle free trial for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. As a webcast attendee, we registered you for a free trial and we whitelisted you. So even if you had a trial before, you can get another one. Important, please choose the following data centers for your free trial: Frankfurt, Phoenix, and Sydney. So if you create a free trial, they will ask you where you want to provision it. Please choose Frankfurt, Phoenix, or Sydney. There we do have capacity for free trials. Most important, please choose a developer type. Once you install it, you can choose between productive and developer type. Please choose a developer type service. So you are whitelisted for a free trial. You can go to cloud.oracle.com/try it. You choose Frankfurt, Phoenix, or Sydney, and a developer type instance. With this environment, you get an Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, and then you have to provision Oracle Integration Cloud yourself, and then you can start with the live labs. If you're a beginner, please register for the integration bootcamps. So to summarize it, in case you're not yet a member in the partner community, please make sure that you register now to receive our newsletter, to get the webcast invitations with all the information about our community website and upcoming events and technical information. Read our integration blog. There you can find the latest news and announcements. Make use of the documentation and the live labs. And if you have implemented Oracle integration successful, please submit your success story. We want to promote you as a partner. All links from today's webcast are published at the resource page bit.ly/links/OIC. With that, we would like to come to the questions. So if you have questions, you can publish them in the Q&A section. And the first question, Kishore, is what's the difference between the live lab and the integration bootcamps?
So both are two different things, but live labs, basically we see them as a source for our content. And when you attend one of our boot camps, we will be providing you the instance and you will be executing the live lab, where most of the prerequisites are done for you in the boot camp. You would be very much working on the hands-on lab to create an integration flow as such. Right? So prerequisites are taken care so that you're working on the core of it, basically.
Okay. So the next question is from Merchant. He would like to know if there's a limitation for the number of projects in Oracle integration.
I don't see any limit on the projects as such, but I think I pasted the service limits link, wherein you certainly have a limit on number of integrations in the project and number of deployments you could create in a project.
Okay. Any best practices for creating them?
Maybe, yeah, a Slack question, I would say, Jürgen. Maybe we can provide some inputs.
Yep. Okay. Next question is from Matav. From Shrikant, he would like to know how you best connect the big data and how you load the data model.
Yeah, at this point of time, we don't have a first-class adapter for the big data, Jürgen, but they can always try it out with our technology adapters. We have plethora of technology adapters, and then they can design the integration to process a big amount of data.
Okay. Coming back to projects, I missed some questions. What distinguishes developing integrations through a project versus a package?
So project is a new entity that we have since OIC3, right? So think of project as a workspace, like a workspace, where you'll have all the related resources will be under one workspace, and then so you can create multiple deployment labels, and it also allows you to go and observe these labels in the observability tab. So you see all the three design, deploy, and observe in a simplified user interface. Whereas packages is an entity that we used in the past. We are not suggesting or recommending customers to leverage packages because it's just like a bundle of integrations, but it doesn't have any kind of these features. So that's why we are kind of recommending all customers to move from the global context or package context and to move to the projects. And on and above, you can always go to packages and then export to a project. It creates a project automatically, and your integrations just go and bundle and in the project from the package. Okay, in case you're logged in the package, you could do that.
Okay. Next question comes from Madan Hunab. He would like to know if a customer is running currently PeopleSoft with Oracle SOA Suite, how to shift and migrate to Oracle HCM Cloud and Oracle integration, and what to do with the custom built applications and integrations.
So we don't have a specific PeopleSoft adapter at this point of time, but they can use SOAP adapter to integrate with the PeopleSoft, Jürgen. And yeah, even the pre-built as well, we don't have a specific, a first-class adapter for the PeopleSoft. They can use the SOAP adapter to integrate.
Yeah. So from an architecture perspective, what might be an option is if the customer wants to stay on PeopleSoft and SOA Suite, you can shift from the on-premise data center to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, the environments, PeopleSoft and SOA Suite. Then for new integrations, we have a connector between SOA Suite and Oracle Integration Cloud. So you can run a hybrid world where you use Oracle integration for new integrations and you shift the workload to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure for SOA Suite. And then you can slowly introduce new models in HCM Cloud and build new integrations with the technology adapters. Okay. Matav, having you on the call, there's a lot of questions about pre-built. What is an Oracle recipe and how can partners use it? And
so recipe is nothing but a template. They can take that as an example and then understand how the integration works with the number of adapters and what kind of designs that we can use it, what kind of features that we have implemented in the adapter or in the integrations, and then enhance the recipe according to their integrations, according to their business functionality. But this is not an upgrade safe. But if it is an accelerator, that's an upgrade safe. That is like a plug and play integration. They can just go ahead and install the accelerator if their use case matches with the accelerator that we have. Of course, it is also the accelerator also can be extended according to the business use case that customer has.
So a recipe, like when I cook, makes it easier. You know what ingredients you have and you can start playing around. And the accelerator makes it faster as it's even entitled for upgrades.
Right.
Okay. And they are available in Oracle integration and the Cloud Marketplace.
Right.
Wonderful. So partners can build their own adapters with Rapid Adapter Kit. Can they also build own accelerators?
Yes, they do. They can build the accelerator and they can reach out to us for, publishing the accelerators in the integration store.
Cool. So if you want to build a SaaS extension where you miss some functionality and you see there's some repeatable business for a certain functionality, that's definitely the way to go, is to build an adapter for your application, and then you can build also an extension and to sell that reusable assets through the Oracle Cloud Marketplace.
Correct. And in addition to that, they can also monetize. Partners can monetize their artifacts, be it Rapid Adapter Builder, adapter that was built on Rapid Adapter Builder and the accelerators as well.
Okay. Next question is for Supani. What's the difference between the production instance in development and in production?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question. Production
What's the
instance,
difference between the type of instances, development and production?
development and production.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like any kind of development related activities. So you would be using the development instance, of course, and when it's ready to go for production, you would be deploying that integration on the production instance, and it will be I mean, it will be useful for production related stuff actually.
Yep, and it's also important for your upgrade process. So you will first start with the development and test instances and do the testing there and then move to the production.
Then move to the production, yeah.
Okay. Okay, Kishore, are there any questions we should point out that we missed that are beneficial for all of the audience?
I think you covered good enough field, Jürgen.
Okay, there's a question from Susat about the next bootcamp. So I posted the link for all the integrations and resources in the chat. It's called bit.ly/links OIC. And there you find all upcoming events, including the integration bootcamps, which we recommend for you as a partner. You will also find our upcoming Oracle Cloud World sessions. So plenty of information there. And you will also find the link to the Oracle free cloud trial if you want your own instance, but you have to provision it and to set it up. If you have further questions, feel free to reach out to the team. Thank you for Kishore and Supani for the excellent presentations today. Amazing work you do also with the bootcamp. If you have questions and you need support on customer projects and opportunities, feel free to reach out to our regional team. Neil Kominski supports you in Europe, Middle East and Africa. Paulo Mota in South America, Ravi Chaplani in North America, Ravi Pinto in India, Steve Tyndall in Asia. And for any marketing and partner related questions, feel free to reach out to myself. I pointed you a couple of times to the partner resource page, so please make use of it. You find everything there for integration and digital assistant and for customer and partner related events. Once you leave the webcast, please complete the online survey. We would love to get your feedback. If you have further questions, you can also post them in the survey. And please join us for our next webcast, September 24th. At the next webcast, we will highlight the Oracle Cloud Conference and all the new announcements. We hope to see you in Las Vegas and have a drink with you at the demo ground. Thanks for attending and thanks to Steve in the studio, and we are looking forward to welcome you soon again. Thank you.